Good morning, everybody, and welcome to chapter 3 of my work through the 9 exercises in empathy engines. I think there are 9 chapters in this, just in case you're wondering. As I say, good book, smooth, small, easy to read. It's only about, let's find out, it's only about 100 pages, and that makes it also cheap. And the exercises are really good, and they've been challenging me to do design about my own life, which is, again, as I said in episode 1, something I struggle with. I have made the game Rent. I often think that there's a lot of pressure, though, to be autobiographical these days. That's very much in vogue, and being directly autobiographical isn't, of course, the only way to be autobiographical. There are ways to express the things you care about without talking directly about your life. I'm also not sure that the uploading thing and this is making these things come out weekly. I might have to do that separately later. Anyway, third chapter is called Minimalism and something else. Hang on. Minimalism and autobiography. And it's about how a lot of games that are autobiographical and really hit people hard are minimalist. And what that can do is really break down barriers, because people can see themselves in systems in a very different way than they do in representations. So it describes a game called Lim, where if you're a little square that's moving around, and when you move into certain areas, the fact that you don't fit in with the other squares because you're a different color makes it hard to move, and you can basically push a button that makes you look like them, so they stop attacking you. And a lot of people have responded to this game as saying it's very much about their story, even though they're from very, very different backgrounds and things like that. And what that shows is that systems have a very power in their neutrality, and people see them, they can reflect the systems that people live under, regardless of how those systems emerge or the way those systems cloak themselves. So people would see, well, there are lots of reasons why people feel they have to pretend to fit in. In fact, probably it's one of the most human experiences ever. And the challenge at the end of the game is to try to express, where is it? Think of a facet of your identity, particularly something that's disadvantaged, and try to design a game about that which uses as few mechanics and objects as possible. The system I design is a dice game, and I'll post it in the comments under this video in its entirety. And it's basically an expression of again, about conformity and how much I struggle with that issue. So I'm not going to really read it out here because that would be weird. I think it's better that you read it yourself, which means this video is going to be pretty short. But I will talk a little bit more about that. And let me just see. Yep. I think that's just the best way to do it. I've been working through this book. I've been making some games, and it's been very interesting. And yeah, it's important. I think it comes back to what we were saying last time about being sneaky, in that the more you lead people by their hand, the less connected they get. So you have to use a light touch when you're being anyway didactic, but in any kind of game design, try and do the lightest possible touch. Games are inherently control systems. They are limitations placed on people. And when you, because they're limitations, you have to use a light touch. Anything that you add, as we said last time, is taking away choices and limiting the universe. And you're already asking people to accept limitations. So try to just do as few as you can. And when you are being didactic, hide as much as possible everything else. You don't have to be fully abstract, and there's reasons why you might not. But the less you are, the more people will willingly buy in, and that's what you want for a game. Ultimately, although games control your mind, they are participatory, and in that sense, we want people to step into them willingly. And the less they have to extend the nature of who they are, the more willingly they step in, and the more they'll embrace the system, and then the more they will reflect on the system. So, yeah, that's today's message. Keep it simple, keep it abstract, keep it sneaky, and I'll see you next week.